coming all the way from England. From England, right? He's not from the United States, but Muslim, and also WorkRate. Like, horrible introduction. I'm sorry, but I got a little bit excited because I'm just like, we got someone overseas, but WorkRate, bro.
What's going on? How are you?
Good, bro. Good. We're chopping it up. Top of my head, you're part. What do you mix with?
Dad's Algerian. My mom's Palestinian. So, yeah, I'm Algerian, half Palestinian by descent. Born and raised in London, from Britain. And at this time, I just say I'm Palestinian. At this time, because it's a very delicate time for our people, and that is a form of resistance yourself to say I am Palestinian.
Okay.
Saying, because that's what we are, and that's what we'll always be, and they will never get rid of it.
Palestinian. I love that too. But let me ask you this: how'd you end up in England? How'd your parents end up in England?
That's a very long story. Okay.
But I just what's the point of how you guys just got straight into England? Because
you try to keep it brief. I hope they don't cancel my visa. But yeah, there's no secrets to it. This is all public news. This is all in books, and this is all been documented by all the TV channels of the world, or most of them. My family's got a story, so it stems back to the Afghanistan-Russia war, actually.
Oh.
How my family ended up in the UK. So my grandmother and grandfather from my mum's side were kicked out of Palestine in 1948 to another part in Palestine, kicked out again in 1967 to another part, to Jordan at that point. So in a nutshell, if you know about the 1948 Nakba, there was 750,000 Palestinians displaced and many massacres all over, and that was basically the establishment of the regime, the occupation. And then there was moved, that was the Nakba, and then there's a little fuzzy sound.
Yeah, it's good.
There was another war, should we say. Well, there's always been war, really, and nobody ever agreed to this, but there was the second big event, should I say, was 1967, the second biggest event in this time. Well, the biggest event now is 2023, obviously, until now. But the second was 1967, and they moved out to Jordan. They settled down in Jordan. And then when they settled down in Jordan, that was my mum's side of the family. My dad was in Algeria with his family. And as you know, Algeria was also another colonial state by France. But after 132 years, I believe it was, they sent France home crying. So France left after 132 years. So both sides of my lineage actually is colonialism and imperialism and occupation and all of that. Both sides are struggles, and both sides are. So yeah, my dad's side of the family was in Algeria at that time. Mom's side of the family was in Jordan, and then the war in Afghanistan kicked off against the Soviet Union. They wanted to expand and take over Afghanistan. So whilst that was going on, my grandfather ended up going towards Pakistan, Afghanistan, around there.
Geez, so you guys were all over the place, man. Yeah. And just landed in England. And that's where you were born, right?
Exactly.
Okay. So I met you last year because of Hanny, right? Not only because of Hanny, but there was a special project you guys were doing, which was the Art of War album, right? And that's what you were a part of too as well. So when I first met you, I noticed your accent. I'm like, oh, geez, where the fuck is this guy from? Like, bro, what? No, but with the Art of War album. And so as we all know, you're a rapper, right? Or an artist, you could say too as well. Let me ask you this. And it's not to put you in the hot seat, but just because I'm familiar with the religion, isn't rapping...
You know what you're going to say. I love this question. You're going to say, isn't music haram?
Yeah, is it music haram to be rapping, even if it's cultural or with religion based?
You actually just set me up perfectly to what I wanted to say. So we met last year for the Art of War album, which, if you don't know what it is, I'm not going to say go check it out, to be honest with you. I got love for the whole team, AMG, ANG, Hanny, Ho, and all the beautiful artists on there. But here's the backstory to it. So that was for charity. I made my music for Palestine in October of that year. Kicked off around October. I dropped Gaza, and then I had the Gaza series. So I kept doing those, which was basically to raise awareness and which was a form of resistance. Because at the time, when everything happened, the news that was coming out to the whole world was that look at these Palestinian terrorists, and when you had Golan saying that we're human animals, and when you had Netanyahu saying this is a state of war and we're gonna annihilate them, and when you had the administration of Netanyahu and that whole government basically just coming out with genocidal intent, and you know all the news companies of the world and all the medias of the world was coming with the exact same narrative that basically they have the right to defend themselves, which basically gives them they was preparing the world for the genocide that Israel has been carrying out to today and the ethnic cleansing that they have been carrying out for the last 76 years now.
Yeah, right.
So that's what that was, my friend. So anybody who had a voice at the time, anybody who had a platform like yourself and me, it was kind of a responsibility, not only if you're Palestinian, not only if you're Muslim, but if you are a human being, to raise awareness and speak up on the topic. And as you know, in the first week of the genocide in Gaza, everybody knew like how serious it was. So that's when I took it upon myself and I said, you know what? Like, I don't care how prominent of a career I've got or where I am in my career or what deals are on the table for me or whoever's searching for a deal for me or what labels are looking at me, because I know what risks it comes with, because a lot of the Zionists run the music industry. They run a lot of the record labels and stuff like that. So the second you speak up about certain things, especially when you speak up about Palestine, which is very close to home for them, then you have your likelihood of getting a deal or being recognized or even being blackballed, your likelihood of getting a deal goes down, your likelihood of getting blackballed goes all the way up. So, but obviously at that point, nobody's thinking about that, especially if you're Palestinian.
Right.
So I went ahead with it and I just done what I done, and I said, I don't care who's watching, I'm going to do what I do, with the intention of if I get cancelled, I went out the right way. And, this is the least I can do for my people. This is genuinely the least I can do for my people. They're dying. They've been dying for 76 years. They're starving. They control the water that goes in and out, everything that goes in and out of Palestine, and so much more atrocities they've been putting up with. The least I can do is go on a beat and do something I enjoy doing, and something that I know that I'm a raise awareness for, and at least show the London, UK drill scene what's going on with my people. So when I went ahead and done it, sorry, just to finish up, when I went ahead and done it, it's like, yeah, cool, it done this thing, and it you get me, it done numbers and whatever, but there was mixed opinions on it, as you would imagine, when you have a fan base that only want to hear about murder and only want to hear about gang violence and only want to hear about all that stupid, useless stuff.
Right.
The second that you give them something worth listening to, and it's the case everywhere, all over music. People only want to listen to stupidness. The second you actually give them something worth listening to, the majority are like, what's this? Do you know what I'm saying? So it's the role of the artist to try and make it sound good, which is something I'm still perfecting up until today. But I couldn't care less about anybody's reactions. I kept going and kept going and kept releasing. And funnily enough, I didn't end up getting cancelled. I ended up meeting some of the most important people I've met in my career up until today. So shout out the whole team. We're working till now. And to end off that story, I quit making music 2 months ago.
There you go. But to touch topics on a little bit what you just said, I love that, because you said it doesn't matter if you were Palestinian or not. It's to what's happening over there is to raise awareness. Like Eddie Max, he's not Palestinian and he's Christian, but his voice and his image and the message rose so much awareness in the area, which I love, right? Because I myself am Mexican and I'm Catholic, right? But what's going on over there is not correct, right? It's not morally correct. Children are being murdered, right? So that's why I love what you said that. But on top of that, saying that you started off like, talking about murder, talking about violence and all kinds of chaos. When you're singing this stuff, did you actually live that part? Because most rappers just sing it because it's viral, or did you actually, did you actually live what you said about the violence, or like, aka, is it cap? But it's okay, because a lot of rappers even say it to and admit it nowadays that they just sing it because it's viral and trendy.
Right. I'll say 2 things to that. So, firstly, I'd start with this and I'd say, as a Muslim, you're not supposed to expose your sins. That's what I'd say. And I'd say, so you're not supposed to expose your sins, and especially if you've repented for those sins.
Oh, okay.
I shouldn't expose them.
All right.
So that I can't really go into too tough. But I would say I definitely did live the life.
Okay. I don't know how to really pivot off of that because me, I'm a little corrupted, so I would have spilled the beans. Nah, I'm kidding.
I know, don't vote.
Don't vote for Pedro. Don't vote for me. It's in my name. No, 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 no. Okay, so I mean, that's fair, and that's like the religious you. But you quit rapping. What? Why? Why?
I haven't quit rapping, Pedro.
Huh?
I've quit making music.
Okay.
So I still rap, but my songs have only vocals put in them now. Now, look, in terms of whether music is haram or permissible in our religion, it's questionable.
Okay.
Understand? Because some people would say it's allowed, some people would say it's not. It's a questionable thing. So for me, where it's like I've been feeling very spiritual as of lately, trying to get on my deen, as they say. And alhamdulillah, all praise is due to Allah. He chooses you to guide and chooses, so He's chosen me, and I pray that He keeps guiding me. So I said I'm gonna get away with from everything that's questionable, and I'm gonna just do what's right. So I'm only making vocals only music. So it's not music. It's just all made by a voice, beat, everything.
Right.
And I'm only spreading good messages.
I love that. Also, too, this is another topic that's always trendy. Not trendy, but it's curiosity. Is that
So sorry to
yes?
I did this under my breath, but I should do it out loud just in case any of you are watching. There's a prayer that we do. اللهم اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. اللهم صل وسلم على سيدنا Muhammad. Anything good I say is from Allah, anything bad from the shaitan or myself. They're gonna know what I'm talking about. So you can go ahead.
It's not a curse whatsoever. I'm telling you guys. No, but so a lot of people that I see is not even just with this. Is a lot of people now use stuff just to go viral. They do dumb stuff. They use clickbait, whatever. Do you think? I'm not saying you, but maybe you do know someone that has done this. People use the religion, let's just or the conflict that's going on in Gaza to get views, or any political issues. Do you think they use that? And what do you think of it?
Now here's what the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "A Arab is not superior over a non-Arab. A black is not superior over a white. A white is not superior over a black. Nobody's superior over each other." I think I said it right. If not, you get the gist of it. Nobody's superior over the other except by what? By faith. And God has made faith something that nobody could see. So faith is inside. Do you know what I'm saying? And same for intentions. Somebody's intentions are buried deep in. You don't see them unless they come out openly and tell you about their intentions, or show you very blatantly and show the world through their actions what their intentions are. Who are you or who am I to judge their intentions? So as long as you're raising awareness for the cause in Palestine, then in terms of that, keep going, and you have my full support as long as you're doing it in the right way. As long as you're not bringing degeneracy involved, as long as you need to understand when you're representing Palestine and when you're trying to help Palestine, as we agreed on, it's a humanitarian cause. It is not a religious cause, and it is not a but I would like to say you are representing a lot of Muslims, and it is in a sense a holy cause in a sense for us as well. So just try and keep the degeneracy over there in your personal life if you can. We don't want to mix it up too tough. Whatever you do in your personal life, you do. Other than that, you have my full blessing to go ahead and do what you want. Who am I to judge your intention? Maybe my intentions are skewed. In terms of Islam now, obviously it's only Muslims who are going to try and benefit off the religion of Islam,
Right.
as you're saying. So in terms of that, what I would like to say to that, Pedro, is that God will expose them, bro.
Yeah.
And I pray that my intentions are pure, because you never know how intentions are a very deep and complex thing. So I just pray to God He keeps my intentions pure, and I just keep going for it, bro. I hope that answers it.
No, 100%. So now, since all the political stuff happened a couple weeks back, right, with Trump and Kamala, now since we know that Trump won, right, do you think there's gonna be an actual difference of what's gonna happen over there in Gaza, or do you think like there's gonna be is there gonna be like a difference? Do you think?
Well, I'll say two things to that. Firstly, I think he's worse from what I know, but I'm not too up to date with the politics.
I asked you because you're from England, right? Yeah.
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 I want your opinion, actually.
Oh, with the Trump and Kamala?
Yes.
So literally with politically and stuff like that, I don't know how to be politically correct, so it's not a correct answer, so I'm saying this based off my opinion. I think with Kamala.
There's a lot of stuttering going on. We need the truth. We don't need no.
Okay, all right, no filter. So with Kamala and Trump, pretty much, I feel like Kamala, and just to be, straight up, it's not because she's a woman or a woman of color, Hispanic and a minority too as well. I just don't think she is the person to represent what I stand for this country, right? For the people that did vote for her, that's okay, right? Maybe she morally did align with you. With Trump, morally, or maybe not morally, he just actually took action of what he actually said.
I don't want to know about that. I want to know about Gaza.
Oh,
You're up to date with the conflict.
Mm.
No, you are.
Okay.
Because I know you personally.
With Gaza, okay.
So, not to throw you in it, but what do you think the difference would be between Trump and Kamala? Some people are saying Trump's going to be worse and harder on the Palestinians and the Middle East and Muslims in general, as you know. And some people would say Kamala, obviously, the genocide Joe, right? Genocide Biden, so.
No, I think with Trump, with doing that, it's way better. Why? Because he's in control, 100% control of the military, right? Correct? He doesn't respond emotionally, at least for my opinion. So I think he's a better option just because he has not started any wars, to my knowledge. But I feel like he has since in office in 2016 and 2020. And right now, people respect him in other countries that maybe, I'm not saying he will not engage in more conflict over there in Palestine. He might cut ties, which
I think I would agree, yeah.
Yeah, he might cut ties, certain stuff that won't benefit over there in Palestine, Gaza, but he's going to cut ties where they won't really fund them, right? Maybe his full attention's not there, but over Kamala, I feel like Kamala would just say stuff politically correct, but would engage in more stuff to start a war or maybe increase the violence over there in Gaza, or maybe not even approach to stop it, like how they say.
Okay, just to add to that, how you doing, Ho?
Bigger?
Yes. هلا كيف الحال؟ السلام عليكم بحفظك. You good?
What's up, bro? What's going on, bro?
That's the man in soul, Allah bless it.
Hove, Exotic Diamonds.
Diamonds, Boogie. So. Okay, I didn't use my track of thought there. Could have, did it. Let me add on to that. So there's a ceasefire that got announced today. What's the day?
The 26th of November.
26th of November, yeah. Today it got announced in Lebanon for 60 days.
Wow.
I still have to have a look into it. My dad just told me, actually. So that's a good thing. I want to ask you a question off topic now. So yeah, let's hope they chase peace in the world. I hope so. Obviously, we all do, right? Who doesn't want peace other than people who benefit of killing, right? So I pray in downtown. I live in downtown now for another week and a half. And there's a mosque called DIC, Downtown Islamic Center. And I go and I pray there, Fajr prayer at 5:45 in the morning.
Okay.
On my way there to the mosque, every single time I'm walking, I see something, a lot of something. Do you want to guess what it is?
What is it? Is it violence?
No.
Is it
Violence, yeah, there's been about 4 or 5 shootings, maybe 6 or 7 murders.
okay?
But there's violence everywhere, I think. No, something else. On the streets, everywhere. I'm walking and I just keep seeing stuff everywhere. Do you want to, yeah, you can't guess? Homeless people.
Okay.
I'm seeing homeless people everywhere. I'm seeing young people like my age, just younger than me, just older than me. They look like drug addicts and they're sleeping in cars, sleeping on the floor. I'm from London.
Yeah.
I don't see that nowhere near as much as I see it here in the States. Before I came here, everybody kept talking about the healthcare problems in the States and the homelessness problems. Yeah, the housing problems. And then now that I've seen it for myself, I'm like, so how could this country not afford to deal with that? Which I heard that to solve homelessness is like, how much is it? Something.
It's a lot of money, man.
It's not that much money compared to what's being sent to Israel. And for them to solve their healthcare problems, it's nowhere near as much money as what's being sent to Israel. Because when you think about it, I have a friend, and if he allows me to keep this into the podcast, then we'll keep this into the podcast. He was shot the other day.
Okay.
He's better now. God bless. He's on his recovery journey. and he drove himself to a hospital, but he was lost. Both his front tires were out, and his rims, and he was going for, and he was bleeding out in the car, driving himself. And you don't have ambulances that come and pick you up from the street here in America.
They do pick you up, but they kind of lack.
So when they pick you up, do they pick you up with the Apple Pay machine? Like as you're dying, do you have to pay?
No. I like that because they do charge you for every time they pick you up, I think, to my knowledge, but they're not quick with it. Yes. But yeah.
How long are we talking about? Half an hour, 1 hour?
Half an hour, bingo there. Yeah.
Half an hour. Okay, cool. Takes about 10 minutes to bleed out, maybe less.
Wow.
Depending on the wound, obviously. So he had to drive himself whilst still being shot at, whilst his tires are put out.
Wow.
And when he drove himself, he got to a eye care place. Turns out it wasn't even a hospital because the guy who was with us from out of state. When he got there, had to drive himself to another hospital. Drove himself to another hospital. He drove around 7 minutes from where he got shot to the place. From there, drove around another 7 minutes with 3 bullets inside him.
Wow.
Bleeding out. Driving himself with no 2 front tires to another hospital. At which point, he had to wait for the police to come because he was at the front of the hospital. And for them to take him into the hospital, they have to take him round or something. For the police to come, get him, take him round the hospital to the other side of the hospital, in which they're telling him to walk himself. They're not even bringing stretchers out to him when he got to the other side of the hospital. They're not even bringing wheelchairs out to him. Walk yourself into the hospital, in which he gathered up the last bits of strength that he had when he got to the other side of the hospital. The police took him and saw a wheelchair, sat on the wheelchair, got into the hospital and passed out. Wow. And then he was in there for I think weeks doing surgery and stuff, and he's just got out now.
Wow.
He's got one more surgery ahead of him. But this government is focused on sending money to Israel.
Wow.
Homeless people everywhere, my age, younger, older than me, drug addicts. But they want to fund Israel when Israel's healthcare has no problems. I'm pretty sure their healthcare is free. And Israel's has no housing problems. No, you have the birthright trip. You fly here, we'll pay for everything as long as you're genetically Jewish. We'll pay for your whole trip. We'll fly you here. We'll house you in somebody else's house. Yeah, for sure we'll do that.
Right.
Because you have the right to that God-given right to that land. So even though that person's been there for 1,000 years, don't worry about that. We're going to give you that house. So they have none of the problems that the Americans are facing. Yet Americans are the main funders of this. It's mind-blowing.
And there's no money to give to the people that actually need it.
For the citizens of the state, for the country, what do you think of that? It's mind-blowing.
Well, that, first of all, let me tell you, I love that perspective, especially since you're overseas and you saw that and you see that and wow, that shocked me because I lived here all my life, 24 years. But for you to make that perspective is actually phenomenal because it's really eye-opening. And this is why I want to post that. That's a great clip for you to share because that is true. Why are we funding not just Israel, but all these other countries that first of all, it's not even our problem. Not that it's not our problem, but it's that we're funding people that's none of our business, right, to be doing it. I guess you could.
It's none of your business, and you have bigger problems. It's like, what type of country, what type of government takes care of another country more than its own, takes care of another country's citizens more than its own? Clearly, there's something fishy going on here. And genuinely, I don't even have a conspiracy theory to make sense of that. How does that make any sense? What is going on? Maybe is it because of AIPAC, as you know, they've come out the curtains.
Right.
That's no longer a conspiracy anymore. Israel basically controls most of the American government. But I think Trump's changing a lot of that now. God knows what's going on with that. But it's been too long that's been going on. Or maybe is it because, I don't know, God knows, and think about what they're doing with the money. If they was taking the money and making vibranium in Wakanda, it might make sense, right?
Yeah.
No, they're taking the money and committing genocide, ethnic cleansing with it, and hiding. They're hiding rapists and pedophiles from Britain and from America. That's what they do. People come American citizens who are Jewish, who have the right to go back to Israel, and I'm gonna speak about the difference between Jews and Judaism and Israelis right now and Zionists. I'm gonna speak about the major difference. They don't equate, which is why a lot of Jews stand with Palestine and against Israel. That commit rape in America, in Britain, that commit, pedophilia here in America and Britain, that commit child pornography here in America and Britain. Sorry, not to get too personal.
No, yeah.
And go ahead and run off to Israel, where they find full protection.
Wow.
It just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know what to make of it, genuinely.
To be fair, and there's not even to be fair, and that's why I love what you guys are doing, because a part of what's going on with America, and they're trying to shadow ban a lot of people and the news, because the media is controlled by the government. You guys, that started like a small group, created a whole album of music, bringing awareness, using your voices, using your talent, your creativity, your knowledge, right? Because you're 24 years old just like me, and what you're saying is literally you're speaking from the heart. So
we was raised upon this. I'm definitely not a knowledgeable person. I wouldn't put myself there. We're all students of knowledge until we die. But we was raised upon this as Palestinians. This was passed down generation by generation. Everything we believe is the truth.
100%. I mean, seriously, man, it's just like impactful too as well, because you're, like I said, I like to hear your point of view too. Like, I'm actually invested right now, interested, because you are from England and you're only been here a couple times, right? So let me ask you this, because I know we're gonna make this a shorter time and we can have more to talk about.
I'll ask you a question.
You're gonna ask me a question?
No, you're gonna ask me a question.
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask you a question, a simple question, but it's just pretty much is just like, now going into it. It's right now November 26th, and you said there was a ceasefire right now, to my attention. What do you think that's going to pivot to? Is that a good thing or a bad thing for you? How do you see it?
The ceasefire is in Lebanon.
Okay.
It's not in Gaza. They have no intention of a ceasefire in Gaza until the job is done, which is destroying Hamas, the organization Hamas. But the Golan, the guy who got fired from the IDF as the commander, I'm not sure too tough about his position in there. He was fired. Literally kept reiterating to Netanyahu, it's impossible to annihilate an idea. Even if you annihilate the organization of Hamas and disassemble it, it's an idea. How much terrorists have you that's what they say. How much terrorists have you created?
Wow.
By trying to get rid of the terrorists that you're trying to get. How much? Because now that kid has watched his family of 40 get blown to bits, and he's the last one out of 40 that survived. The last one out of 40 that survived, for example, which is 900 bloodlines have been erased. 900 bloodlines.
Right.
900. Let's let that sink in and fathom.
It's a lot of souls.
Okay, 900 bloodlines. And that's what people are sure about. Let alone the people under the rubble, the people that are going to starve, the diseases that will come out of Gaza afterwards, the long-term effects of this. It's unbelievable. So how much terrorists have you created by trying to get rid of your so-called terrorists? It doesn't make sense.
Wow.
And yeah, those two he's a war criminal now, and so is Netanyahu. So that's some good news.
No, okay. And like I said, like, we're just gonna cut this a little bit short, so I'm gonna throw like a little switch topics a little bit. So obviously you're an artist, you're still an artist at the end of the day, and you're gonna be coming here in America a lot more.
Yeah.
And so you aspire to take off your music, right? I feel like you still want to be an artist overall, right? That's your dream, that's your background. Business aspect, moving on forward with the Palestine conflict, right? You're not going to be singing about Palestine, and obviously you're going to make notice of it so people can be aware. But for you as an individual artist, what do you want to pivot to blow up as an individual?
Okay. So I wanted to do this podcast with Pedro because I know how interesting he can get. Okay. And I know that I can have no filter here, and he's not the type to edit and cut, because
Never.
that's not how he plays it.
Never.
So now that I've done the podcast, we already agreed. We had 36 minutes before we done it, right? Because Maghrib prayer is about to come in, and I need to read my adhkar before Maghrib. But we definitely need more time. So maybe we'll have a part 2 to this.
Go 100%.
Definitely.
Are we going overtime already?
No, we have 7
Oh,
artists.
okay.
So to answer your question, I'd like to say, so you said other than the Palestine stuff, I still want to be an artist, yeah, of course. What else would I be speaking about? So, you know, in terms of me, what I have planned for the future, as Muslims, we believe that our rizq, which is all good things, are already written for you by God. They will, if it's meant for you, it will come to you, and if it's not meant for you, it will never come to you, no matter how hard you work. So yeah, we still believe in hard work. We still believe in trying and everything, 100%. But at the same time, I do my best and leave to God the rest. That's my thing in life. So in terms of my big goals and everything, I've kind of let go of a lot, but I already know for a fact that something great will come out of my life, and I just pray that my intentions are purified by it and that God accepts it. But something great will come, whether it's in or outside of music. What will the topics be about? You know, the topics will be about what's in here and what's in here. As you said, a lot of people do things just to go viral, Pedro. As you said, this is not in my it's not in my nature. Every time I've gone, even before, like every time I've ever gone viral, every time I've ever done anything, it's come from, I believed in it wholeheartedly,
Authentic, yeah.
100%. And anytime it was like, you know, I had managements around me, or I had teams around me, or advice from friends, you should do this for clout, you should do that for clout. I'm like, bro, I don't do things for clout. I am who I am, and I am the clout. That's what I'm saying, in the most humble way possible.
No, 100%.
And if I'm not the clout, at least I'm doing what I do, and it is what it is. We don't do it for the clout. If it comes, it comes. If it don't, it don't. So the topic that I'm mainly going to be speaking about in my music, and when I get back to London in about 2 weeks, this is an organization that will take off, inshallah, God willing. The organization is going to be called X Roads. X Roads. So it's like exposing the roads. X Roadmen, but it will not be only X Roadmen on there. It will be people, your favorite rappers, your favorite gang members from your area, your local trappers. I'm gonna get every single person. I'm gonna use all the pool I got in London to bring everybody to tell you lot exactly how it is, with no filter. You feel me? They're gonna tell you exactly how it is, and I'm gonna make sure I ask the right questions, because there's a lot of, it's very misconstrued. The streets in London, the streets everywhere. Sorry, but I should be looking.
No, yeah. Go off, man.
Like,
Go off, man. It's personal now.
yeah. So the streets in London are very misconstrued, and the streets everywhere are actually very misconstrued. Yeah, it's like, why do you think when people really live the streets, bro, they come out and they don't sound like the people who are excited by it, bro? All these movies, all this music, all this, they're programming you to think a certain way and to be a certain way. But the truth of the matter is, like, it's not what you think it is. You feel me? So you know what? In a nutshell, this organization, I'm gonna risk my life. I'm gonna risk my freedom. I'm gonna risk my safety. I'm gonna risk everything it is to let you know, the youth who are watching me, because all you youth who are watching me are clearly moved by the streets and intrigued by the streets. Or you're already on the streets. Or you've left the streets. You're somehow linked to the streets. If you're a fan of WorkRate, there's no way you're just listening to, and you're nothing to do with the streets. You feel me? Very rare chance. So my role now to you is to tell you how it is. And that's what I'm gonna do as soon as I get back, inshallah. God's winning. And as I said, bro, I'm gonna bring my favorite rappers and everything, and that's my main message in my music, to tell you unfiltered stories of things that happen, and to tell you all this stuff. Like, for example, you lot think we all got money, you lot think we're all rich, right? Nah, bro. Till you, it's all most of it is a facade and a look, bro. And that's how the whole music industry is. When a man signs a deal or whatever, bro, how much you think he's putting in his pocket when a man signs a £1 million deal, bro? He's only going home with 150, bro. And that money's going like that, bro, because he's got 100 things to pay for. And bearing in mind, it's haram money. You feel me? So,
No. WorkRate, thank you so much for the In Your 20s. This is WorkRate here from England. This will be a part 2 because there's so much more to say. But this is just in the meantime, with what we had this conversation right now. For part 2, we're going to have more to talk about.
God bless you, bro. God bless you. May Allah guide us. I mean,
Likewise, bro. Thank you, WorkRate.
thank you, sir. Assalamu alaikum.
Malik assalam.